Hey everyone, this is Akhil Gurrapu and this is my project for the FabricAI hackathon. I have created a project regarding stock report on top 20 stocks where I have used Microsoft Fabric and OpenAPI keys in order to get the summarized company descriptions and get the detailed summarized latest news. And this is the final report where we have used the Power BI visualization tool, and all the data is fetched from the yfinance library. In order to get a summarized description of each company, we have used OpenAI API keys, and then in order to get the latest news and format them in a order, we have used OpenAI API keys. So I have just made a detailed overview about the project in order to recreate it with the detailed steps. You can find it in my GitHub. And also I just wanted to create a video to guide in a detailed way to recreate this project. So let's get dive in. Initially, I have created a dedicated workspace for this project and named it as FinanceAI. In this workspace, initially I have created a new lakehouse and named it as Finance Lakehouse. Initially, we don't have any tables in this lakehouse. In order to write the tables into the lakehouse, I have created 3 notebooks where we will fetch the data and write them into tables in lakehouse. So let's get started with the prediction model notebook, and I have also listed all the notebooks in the notebooks folder in my GitHub. You can just check them and import into the lakehouse and you can just run them. So let's get in the first notebook where we are usually fetching all the data from the yfinance library. So let's install the yfinance library using pip install yfinance, and then we are importing pandas and numpy for the mathematical calculations, and then we are using sklearn and the RandomForestRegressor machine learning models in order to predict the close price of the stocks, and we are also importing the yfinance YF. So basically we are doing the stock report for the top 20 stocks which have been listed in an order, and they are assigned to a variable ticker symbols, and then we are fetching all the data from all these tickers. And then we are in the next step, we are initializing an empty list, and then we are fetching all the ticker and historical data and then appending it into the empty list where all the data regarding columns date, open, high, low, close, volume and the ticker have been appended into the empty list where we are also fetching the data starting from 2010, and then we are creating a new tables like previous close, price change percentage, volume change percentage, and we are using a simple mathematical calculations in order to calculate them. And here we are performing the simple data transformation steps, data cleaning steps, and then we are performing the predictive modeling on this financial data using the RandomForestRegressor machine learning model, where we are using all this data as an input variable and using the close column as a target variable and assigning it to the respective variables. And then in order to split the data, we are using train test splitter, and then we are using the RandomForestRegressor machine learning model with estimators of 100 in order to predict the close value, and creating a new column as predict close and moving the data into this column resulted data, and then we are performing some option step in order to calculate the mean absolute error on this test data, and then we are copying this combined data into a data frame. You can view the result of this data frame over here. In order to write all this data into the Lakehouse, we need to convert the pandas data frame into a Spark data frame. So I'm using the simple code here in order to convert the pandas data frame into a Spark data frame. You can see the Spark data frame result here, and then using some data cleaning steps, and then writing the data into a delta format into tables folder in the Lakehouse and naming it as like stocks data using the Spark data frame. When you run this, you will create a table named stocks data in the table in the tables folder in Lakehouse. And then let's move to the next notebook, which is company summary notebook. Here we are installing OpenAI and yfinance libraries, and using the OpenAI key we are summarizing the company data which we are getting using yfinance library, where you will get the data using long business summary. So initially I'm using get secret library in order to get the OpenAPI key which is being generated or stored in secrets in the key vault. So it's a best practice for privacy. And then we are using OpenAI, pandas and yfinance libraries in order to perform these operations, where these are the simple steps in order to use the OpenAPI. We are using the OpenAPI keys and the Azure endpoint, and then creating a simple function where giving the prompt, summarizing the information below, make it more concise, not more than 24 characters. So we are summarizing the company description less than 20 characters, where we are using the GPT-35 Turbo model, and then we are getting the summarized data which is being fetched using yfinance library and long business summary. You can see the output here, and then in the similar manner we are converting the pandas data frame into an Spark data frame, and then performing some cleaning operations, and then writing the data into the tables folder in Lakehouse and naming it as company summary. And let's move to the next model, which is news summary notebook. In a similar way, we are fetching all the data from the yfinance and using OpenAI API keys and using the get secret library for the security purpose, and then fetching all the news using get news function, and then performing simple operation in order to fetch all the news. Initially we are directly fetching the news without using OpenAI keys. In the next step over here, we are using OpenAPI and the prompt analyze the news titles below and summarize it in order to summarize all the news and fetching all the data into a new table. And in the next step, we are converting the pandas data frame into a Spark data frame. You can see the result over here, and then we are using some data cleaning steps over here, and then writing this data into the tables folder and naming it as summarize news info, which is being written into the Lakehouse. In order to clear the confusion purpose, we are writing two tables here. One is news information table without summarizing the news, and one as summarize news info table which has been summarized using OpenAPI keys. And in the next step, And the next step, we are creating a finance pipe. We are creating a pipeline, and I name it as like finance pipeline, where you are adding the three activities with three notebooks and then scheduling them to run for every 5 minutes in order to create a near real-time analytics. And you can save this pipeline and you can just run it. And then in the next steps, let's go to the finance lakehouse, where we have all the data which we needed in order to create the stock report. Let's switch to the SQL analytics endpoint here from the lakehouse, and you can see all the data over here. Where you can see all the data over here, and initially I'm creating a new view in this schema named as tickers using visual query. You can use the visual query in order to create this view, or you can use the SQL code which I have pasted in the overview here. One minute. Yeah, here is SQL code. You can use it to create a view, or you can simply create a view selecting one table and then removing the other columns and just keeping the tickers column and then saving it as view, and it will save in the views folder. Basically we are creating this view because when we go to the model here and when we go to the default data set, we are using tickers as a centralized table which is connecting to all the remaining tables. In order to move the tables into this default data set objects, you can click on this more options, and then you can see the option remove from data set. Usually it will be moved to this data set, and similarly you can also move the views into this data set, default data set. From here, where you can create a new report by clicking on new report over here, which uses all data which we have been written into the lakehouse, and we can simply create the new report similar to this report. So let's just check it out, creating a sample line chart showing all the stocks. So simple line chart where we are using the stocks data, date in the x-axis and the close value data in the y-axis. There you can see, and we can also filter them by company. So I'm using a slicer over here, and pulling all the data from this sticker table, where you can select each company in order to view that particular company visualization. So this is the final output of this project, where I have used multiple visualizations, and I will try to make another video which is particularly based upon this Power BI visualization. And also I just want to mention, in this GitHub repository you can find a detailed overview on how to recreate this project. And that's it for this project. I will try to recreate a detailed report on this Power BI visualizations in the next video. Akhil signing off here. Thank you.